What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Crushing Small Stakes PLO. We are playing 50 cent $1 on Ignition on a Monday early evening, so could be in for some reg battles, but figured we'd get on and play some PLO. Make sure you guys subscribe and like the video, it's always much appreciated, and you will get notified about the latest content that we are putting out. There's going to be a bunch more plan explains this week, so stay tuned for that. And also check out PLOpokercoaching.com. We have a ton of in-depth articles on poker concepts and different aspects of the game, and we also offer some free coaching. You can get a 30-minute free session where we'll take a look at your game and give you a plan on how you would go about improving that. This is a very loose call, but this guy's been very active so far. And yeah, that's not great. Obviously, he's going to be ISOing pretty wide here. I'm going to be ISOing pretty wide, and so he can 3-bet. But I think I am going to make the call with this player in the pot and in position a bit deeper with this guy. And not the flop we were looking for. And unfortunately, we are just going to have to fold. If we didn't have a pocket bet, maybe we could consider it with a backdoor flush draw, but okay. And unfortunately, the whale of the table gets stacked, which is never great. I defend here with the 10-9-7-7. Flopping middle pair. Don't really think we necessarily want to lead this hand or check raise. I don't think our future runouts of blockers are good enough. Like we're not really going to be able to turn any nutted blockers or much improvement for our hand, so we can just check fold. And I will be banging this board pretty aggressively in position. And when we turn the wrap with a heart blocker 2, I am going to pot fold this hand. Guess I could check back. His kind of call, usually from this type of player, is either going to be likely a weak 4 or an overpair. They don't block that heavily. They think is going to struggle to deal with pressure if we get raised. Unless he just has a 4. Yeah. Don't really see that line too much unless it's pretty nutted and they're not worried about the straight draws and flush draws out there, so I'm just gonna fold there to likely a boat, or at least some solid trips. And we are getting 3-bet left and right today. This guy has a pretty wide 3-bet range, so does this guy. Not an ideal raise. Probably a worse call, but let's see where we go with this. Pretty much one of the worst flops we could see, apart from a paired board with the ace. And this is what you get for wide opens and wide calls. You get to fold a ton. Double suited kings over here though, and connected. We have a hand that we actually have business raising. We're just gonna fold to this bet. No business being in that pot. I'll lead this board small. It's pretty good for my uncapped range with the best overpairs. Block a lot of hearts and have some playability in turns and rivers. Obviously, that is not what we wanted to see. The pot size rares into 4 people. And the question is, do we want to stack off against a 5? So, best case, we have like 40% equity, something like that. And we're literally getting 3 by every hand. I am actually going to come over the top here, blocking kings, and he obviously doesn't have aces, and this guy's super short. So we can try and pick up that equity from this guy, or at least get into a favorable position with a side pot. I think it's just an all-around poorly played hand, most likely. Being snapped off by a 5, or not. Could have potentially just jammed the flop. That will be an interesting one to look at. I mean, we know we're against a 5 pretty much all the time, so potentially could have just folded the flop, but seemed a little too nitty. Here in a limp pie, I'm just gonna bet fold. Pretty dry board. Gonna be tough for too many people to have hands here. And we will just be likely check folding here. But we do pick up the spade draw. And this guy basically never has a straight. And this guy seems pretty tight, but plays aggressively on the flop, so I think we can pot here with equity and a blocker to the nuts, and can likely barrel blank turns. And we obviously get raised. So with a gut shot, I mean, we have probably 26-ish% equity. Don't think that we have the odds to call, but the question is, does this guy behind us overcall? Which then we do. Yeah. Probably have less outs, given that he likely has queen king. So not the hottest start to the session. I'm not really wrapping much here, but ranges are so weak when people check 3 times. And this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I kind of just want to jam. Like, he's really saying that he has pocket 10s. My range is just so capped though, I don't really know what I represent when I jam. All right, we're gonna update the name of today's episode to "Getting Crushed at Small Stakes PLO." That is how it looks like the session is going so far. Maybe we can change that with some aces here on the bottom left. See if we get the squeeze this time. We do not. Pretty dry flop, but obviously connecting well with the cold call ranges in play. It's gonna be a very high frequency check for me in the sandwich with my open raising range. And I will be squeezing the ace jack jack even without the nut suit. We have some good connectivity there. And to a half pot size bet, we will be calling here. This guy seems to give up on tens and rivers a decent amount. And I will be raising this turn, raise folding. Just to deny equity, this is usually always a very, very weak hand. All the nuts, so. Yeah. And we will be playing this flop with a diamond blocker and an SPR of 1 and a little. Expecting to be behind here, but couldn't get it in against some draws potentially. And I'm just gonna fold here. And we run into the kings. Makes sense? I am going to overcall with in position to this player with a marginal hand. This guy's been making some interesting plays, so I do want to play some pots with him. It's a little bit loose here on the top left, but we do have recreational player in the small blind. It looks like we might get called in 6 spots. We flop trips and a gut shot, so it's not the worst. I mean, I think we do just want to fold out like some marginal flush draws. We obviously have some equity. King 6, backdoor spades. I think we have enough ability to check this back. Not a great turn, but we did control the size of the pot, so we can call on this turn. And here on this turn, I think I want to bet again. It's getting a little thin already at this point, to be honest. It's a lot of not great rivers. I think I'm gonna check and then maybe check call the river. Yikes. Didn't really want to see the pot size bet. I mean, we're not folding, but blocking some of the straight draws. Completely unblocking hearts. If he does have something like ace-x of spades, I mean ace-x of hearts, he could definitely take this line. I mean, I think we have to call. Wow. Okay. Okay. So we do block some turn draws, we block a spade, block top pair. Take an aggressive line here, which should usually get a decent amount of respect buying it to 4 people. Maybe not the best idea with this calling station on the left. And then we will just be checking this river. Obviously raising the double paired kings. And obviously we cannot call here. I'll have a decent amount of leads on paired boards when it's high, high, low. Obviously that reduces the frequency that he's going to have queens. We do block clubs. We also don't really need protection from anything though. So I'm just going to go ahead and check. This guy's 50% stab frequency on the flop. Pick up 2 flush draws now, and we definitely want to bet. I don't see many recreationals protecting their check back range here with the queen. You can definitely get called by some combo draws. This guy's playing reasonably tight. This is obviously not a GTO open. We'll be calling a 3-bet here in position with some connectiveness. And after he bets pot, I just don't think that we're going to get aces to fold if we raise this flop. But I think we potentially can on certain turn cards. And we have okay equity against aces, unless it's aces and clubs, obviously, but we do block that with 1 club. That is potentially one of the cards that we can get him to slow down on. I guess not. So, realistically, yeah, probably 25-30% against his range. Probably not quite enough, and that's against dry aces. If he doesn't block any of our pairs or has clubs, we're obviously pretty toast. It's probably a good river. I think we're getting a little loose. Probably shouldn't be an open here. Trip suited, weak rundown. With a limp and a 50% VPIP player on the button, just gonna let this go. And we will be opening or 3-betting the ace 10 10 9 double and the queen 6 at 7. Rips and a straight flush draw. See if we're up against 9-7. This is a hand that I think I'm going to bet. Do unblock some higher flush draws, and obviously have an overpair heavy range in the small blind cold calling range. Again, against this player that's somewhat on the tighter side. Whereas, and this will be a flop that I am going to c-bet against the big blind calling range. I have a very strong equity and polarity advantage on this board, and we have some future blockers. That is not one of them. This might be a little bit too loose with this guy behind. We get snap called on the flop. Just given that we block a lot of the draws, I think I'm actually going to check here, and if he checks back, there's plenty of turns that we can bluff. But yeah, I guess we're not getting to that point. Yeah, I mean, just likely some sort of decently protected check-back range with top 2 set type hands that has no backup and is willing to shift equity to a safe turn, so no need to mess around there. We do have a min-raise against these very fishy players. This guy is just betting pretty relentlessly. We have a pretty good hand to check raise. Maybe we even have too much equity to check raise, but I don't think we're getting bluffed 3 bets. So. I will be barreling the blank turn with a pair blocker, and I'm blocking high hearts. And yeah, I was folding up here. This guy's pretty tight under the gun. Do we want to flat raise this? Let's go for a 3-bet. Play some 3-bet pots in position. And it's not ideal. I think this is a mandatory shove. Every draw bricked. Get looked up here, probably. Oh boy. We get snap called by the aces. And drawing pretty much dead. Pretty much flipping on that hand, I guess. I think he had overpair and open-ended and the better flush draw, maybe. So we are running into some pretty fun hands. This one hurts a little bit though, not gonna lie. And the gut shot, I guess. Sometimes, you know, bad calls become great bluff catches in the end, and he does not have any backup with his aces and effectively unblocks everything that I could be bluffing with. So, pretty standard call in the end. On the river. Not sure about the turn. And he min bets into us, which we have seen before. And the nuts on the bottom right. Strong hand on the top left. Shouldn't be much 2-3 in a lot of these ranges. Let's see, we're mainly trying to avoid clubs. I will check back some flush draws here, some nut flushes. And I think blocking 2 pairs, we potentially can check this one back. And I'm actually just going to fold to this bet. And pot here on the top left, hoping to get called by flush draws. And then obviously we'll be raising. I don't know if we want to go pot. I mean, I think at this point he likely has essentially a small flush and I think we just put him to a decision with his small flush bluff catcher. I don't think it's going to make a difference at 75 or full pot. Again, just loosely opening the small blind against this guy. Not really a board that I particularly want to see bet against the big blind cold calling range. He checks back though, I mean, relatively aggressive stats. I think we can take a stab and then just check down the minimal showdown value that we have. Very tempted to rep Jack 8 here. The way the session is going, I'm pretty sure we might be looking into the nuts here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we are gonna fall to the nuts. Can't say we didn't try, guys. We are going to be wrapping up the session shortly. We just went over the 30-minute mark. So yeah, pretty tough session, but some interesting spots. Definitely want to review those players, and especially when you kind of have a run like that, you want to go back and try and evaluate the points in your game and see what really was variance and what was poor play. I have a feeling that there's likely a mixture of both in there. Probably a couple of punts on my end and some unfortunate runouts, obviously. But that is PLO, and that is how we get better, by jumping into some study sessions after this and reviewing the hands that we went through. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe and head over to PLOpokercoaching.com and check out some of our stuff over there. And yeah, good luck at the tables out there, everyone.